Retiring his number in the spring of 2016, Kobe Bryant left behind a legacy that will not easily be forgotten. But is that all he left behind? Are there things Kobe kept hidden from the rest of the world? Fans may think they know all there is to know about the former Lakers star. What if we told you there are some little-known facts Kobe hid from everyone? Well, keep watching to find out what Kobe Bryant tried to keep silent from everyone.
He had the confidence and the drive, and fans soon realized they were watching a superstar in the making.
Welcome to the Kobe Show.
An all-time great. Kobe was considered one of the greatest in NBA history. He spent his entire 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers, demonstrating his love and commitment for his team. He won a record 5 NBA championships and picked up many other personal accolades along the way. He was also NBA's MVP in 2008 and was nominated twice as an NBA Finals MVP. Kobe was also an 18-time All-Star, 12-time member of the All-Defensive Team, and 25-time member of the All-NBA Team. After his passing in 2020, he was honored with a vote into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Kobe was incredible on and off the court, and it is no surprise that many fans adored him. Only a few come close to being put in the same bracket as Kobe. Two worthy names include Michael Jordan and LeBron James. However, Bryant's basketballing prowess and skill weren't all he had in his locker.
So wait, your official name is Kobe Bean Bryant. So where did Kobe and Bean come from?
I think it came from my parents smoking something that was illegal then.
I was gonna say, you had to have some fun parents.
Yeah.
Let's name them Beef.
I know.
Yeah.
A name ordered medium rare. In an interview with Sports Illustrated back in 1998, Joe Bryant, father of Kobe Bryant, stated that his son was named after a small Japanese restaurant in his hometown, Philadelphia. After revealing the idea behind his son's name, Kobe's father added, I don't know if I should say that. They might want the rights to the name. The restaurant's original name was Famous Beef of Kobe. We would really love to have some of those Japanese steaks that made Joe name his son after a steakhouse. Sadly, the restaurant has since shut down, so sorry for the Kobe fans. No pilgrimage for you. Bryant's middle name, Bean, was also derived from his father's pseudonym, Jelly Bean. The man sure does have a thing for food. Maybe his favorite meal was a Kobe steak with a side of jelly beans.
They said, do you know how to play? No, not really. Okay, you got long arms, long legs, just stand in the goal. Don't let any balls get by. That's what I did for like a good year and a half.
A stud on the pitch. What would you say if we told you the former Lakers star could have become a soccer star in Italy? Yeah, that's right. Kobe Bean Bryant actually spent years of his childhood in a European country. As a matter of fact, he resided in Italy for 8 years and even attended part of high school there, which meant he spoke Italian pretty fluently. While in high school, Kobe hoped to be the next Dino Zoff. He had started to develop a keen passion for soccer and was on his way to going pro. This dream took a stumble after his parents eventually moved to the States and Kobe found a new love, basketball. However, in a few interviews, Kobe said that if the decision was his, he would have chosen soccer over basketball. Yep, we were this close to seeing the 5-time championship star on a soccer pitch. His parents also claimed that Kobe was pretty good at playing soccer and would have been a brilliant professional soccer player. His lanky frame meant he was perfect for the goalkeeping position, where he excelled quite brilliantly. He already played in different soccer youth leagues and competitions while in Italy. So who knows? Could Kobe have turned out to be a soccer star? We'll never know.
He was a ball handling guard at 6'10" that could shoot the long ball. And he had all the skills. Fans loved him. You know, he could do virtually anything.
I'm the man now. LeBron James and Bronny James, Steph Curry and Dale Curry, how better to show your kids the ropes than a father-son one-on-one battle? Kobe didn't escape the typical father-son one-on-one battle. With Joe Bryant being a former experienced basketball player, it was only natural that Kobe practiced with his father. It wasn't until Kobe was in high school that he finally beat his dad in a basketball game. Before that little feat though, Kobe had to endure much physical pain. Sharing his early basketball experience, he said, he'd elbow me in the mouth, rip my lip open, then my mother would walk out on the court and the elbows would stop. Seems Mrs. Bryant felt the occasional jabs a meter away. Typical mother's affection. For Kobe though, finally tasting victory after numerous battles must have felt pretty good.
You know, I always listen to music that brought me back to a moment in time, because I think the game is such an emotional one that I always tend to listen to music that brought me to a moment in time in which I had a certain emotion, whether it was high school or as a kid in Italy or...
Up the charts. Did you know Kobe almost made the Billboard Top 100? Well, not literally, at least not in that sense. Sony and Steve Stout made plans to promote Kobe further by recording a single titled K-O-B-E. Kobe was set to appear in the music video. They chose then popular hip-hop video director Hype Williams to record the song. The song featured Kobe rapping to beats about basketball life, fame, and girls. However, the song received a lot of negative reviews and criticism on the language and the tone of the music. The level of criticism was so much that it led Sony and Steve to cancel the release of the song and video eventually. We wondered what they were thinking at the time, but it sure looked like a publicity stunt that irritated fans and viewers that got to witness it. A failed attempt at promoting Bryant's career. Of course, he eventually let his basketball team do the singing, and now his name is sung all over the world of basketball. The song centered around Kobe's fame and popularity, while the video portrayed an array of paparazzi and fans following him everywhere. While preparing for the music video, Kobe met his wife Vanessa. Apparently, she was cast as one of the tailing fans. The two got to talking, and the rest is history.
With the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
Almost a Hornet. As soon as Bryant left high school, he made the 2005 NBA Draft, and the team that drafted him wasn't the Los Angeles Lakers. Bryant was initially assigned to the Hornets. However, 2 weeks later, the Lakers traded Vlade Divac for the then coveted youngster, a move we're pretty sure that the Hornets will live to regret. By the way, who's Divac?
Para mí en Italia, mirando la serie, mi equipo siempre AC Milan. Siempre, sangue rosso-nero. Rosso-nero.
Milan fan. Well, he did spend 8 years in the beautiful city of Milan and almost became a full-time footballer, so it's almost certain that he supports AC Milan, right? Okay, he could have chose to be an Inter Milan fan. That wouldn't have been a bad choice either, but AC Milan was hugely dominant and successful during his time in Italy. They won a Series A title, 2 Championship League titles, and the Coppa Italia during his 8-year stay in Italy. On the other hand, Inter Milan was merely a fierce rival with the AC in the league, barely winning any top title. It's easy to see why Kobe would choose to support the former, seeing he was an aggressive competitor and hated to lose. Probably being an AC Milan fan had an impact on his trophy-laden career. Although starting off as a goalkeeper, AC Milan striker Van Basten was Bryant's favorite player.
Time for a Kobe-less prom. 3 hours after it started, Kobe Bryant and his date, pop star Brandy Norwood, finally arrived in a white limo. Their security people did their best to keep microphones out of their face.
Oh, my prom. While many of us managed to get a date for our prom, Kobe must have caught the eye of many when he walked into the prom house with the stunning singer Brandy as his prom date. Their partnership didn't just need to be there. Bryant got invited to appear on her sitcom, Moesha. Everything looked perfect, and it felt like they were destined to end in some kind of relationship. But sometimes, fantasy never quite comes into reality.
Bruce Lee's poetic approach to martial arts is one of the main reasons his legacy lives on to this day. But his great philosophies are not just constrained to martial arts. As 5-time NBA champion Kobe Bryant would attest to, it seems Bruce Lee has nothing to do with basketball. To me, it has everything to do with basketball.
Dunk Fu, not Kung Fu. Not Will Chamberlain, not Oscar Robertson. Bruce Lee? Yeah. Kobe had cited Bruce Lee as the greatest influence in his basketball career. He was also featured in the documentary of the renowned martial artist. While on tour of Asia in 2010, Bryant said, "It seems Bruce Lee has nothing to do with basketball. To me, it has everything to do with basketball." Kobe was also intrigued by the Chinese traditions and techniques he incorporated into his playing style. He stated how it helped him develop into the top-class shooting guard he was in the NBA. He viewed basketball and Lee's martial arts as quite similar in how both applied formlessness in different situations. Kobe said it helped him adapt to various opposition and think outside the box. Surely no one ever thought of martial arts and basketball as similar subjects, but it was Kobe's secret. Too shy to ride. Vanessa was only still in high school when she started dating Kobe Bryant. The attention seemed a little too much for her and the school at the time. I mean, imagine you are a high school principal in a Lamborghini, but Nino frequently comes to pick up your friend. Surely you'd be wary of all the attention. Kobe regularly showed up at Vanessa's high school. His presence was eventually considered too much distraction to handle. She later had to withdraw from her senior year and finish her final year through homeschooling.
We're built to win this year. This is not a project. We have a window, and we're going to try to get through it. I've coached Steve. I know how much fun that is, so I know how much fun I'm going to have. I've coached Kobe. I've coached Dwight. I know the possibilities that we have.
Teacher's pet? Soccer wasn't the only sport Kobe focused on during his time in Italy. His passion for basketball started in Italy and was strongly influenced by his favorite Italian player, D'Antoni. Kobe once spoke about how ecstatic he watched the former shooting guard play. He was a tenacious guard, man. He made great plays. He was probably the greatest guard to ever play over there. He was a player that I admired growing up. Kobe said of the current New Orleans Pelicans advisor, guess who turned out to be his head coach?
Your legacy is much greater than basketball. No one will ever wear 8 or 24 again for the Lakers because they are being retired.
Perfect 8. Kobe's choice to wear the number 8 jersey after joining the Lakers was no coincidence. In fact, it was the number he put on during his soccer days in Italy. The number also belonged to his favorite basketball player, D'Antoni, who wore the number 8 jersey during his time in the league. After his retirement, the Lakers retired his jersey numbers, number 8 and number 24, which he wore during his spell with them, winning several titles with the iconic number. The Mavericks also followed suit and retired the number 24.
It's been nearly a decade now since what you went through. To what extent do you think having gone through that, it had a positive impact on you and really made you better long term?
Well, I think it's it challenges who you are as a person. To have to go through something like that.
Sexual assault. In 2003, Kobe got entangled in a sexual assault case that raised many eyebrows. He was charged with sexual harassment of a 19-year-old hotel employee, which seemed difficult to believe. However, there wasn't any concrete evidence or substantial proof of these accusations, so the noise died down in the charges. While the case was in court, Kobe had to board flights to and fro across the city of Colorado to attend games and the court case. The prosecutors eventually dropped the charges, stating that the victim was reluctant to testify. Kobe was vindicated, but sought to issue a lawsuit against the young woman. He had felt it was a ploy to tarnish his image. The case was amicably settled between both parties, and the proceedings were kept away from the public. Now that's one Kobe would definitely want the world to forget.
I used to always avoid praising my husband in public because I felt like he got enough praise from his fans around the world, and someone had to bring him back to reality. Right now, I'm sure he's laughing in heaven because I'm about to praise him in public for his accomplishments on one of the most public stages.
The memory lives on. It's been almost 2 years since the Black Mamba left us. Kobe Bryant put a lot of hard work into mastering his craft, and it definitely paid off. In 1995, he became the first ever shooting guard to be drafted into the NBA immediately after high school. The 18-time All-Star definitely left behind a huge hole in hearts after his death. It's only fair that we unearth these tales of the great legend.